What is up, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everybody that's tuning into the video, guys? You already clicked on it, you saw the thumbnail. You know we're breaking down the pithy sayings of Proverbs, right? Because we want some wisdom, we want some knowledge, we want to apply understanding to our life so we can be successful and actually help other people on this earth as well. And guys, what verse are we on today? We are on Proverbs chapter 1, verse 13, that tells us, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Guys, if you've been following along, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10, I think it's 10 all the way up to, I think it's all the way up to verse 14, that Solomon's really giving instructions to his son, and not just his son either, any reader that's applying this to their own life, because this is that peer pressure that a lot of males face in life. You kind of get joined up with a gang of cutthroats that want you to join in with the first instruction that he told him is like, son, if sinner entice thee, consent thou not, right? Because you have a choice. You don't have to do what they're doing. You don't have to join. You don't have to tag along with them. And then they start to promise all these good things, right? But they were really direct in the beginning, vivid, violent illustration of what they're going to do. They're going to lay wait for people to kill them, to steal their assets. They're going to let the grave swallow them up alive. And they're doing all these, violent things. And now they're talking to the part like, let's us fill our houses up with spoil, because that's what sin does, right? Sin doesn't offer you pain. It does offer you pain, but in the beginning it's disguised as, a good night, a fun, enjoyable day, a fun, enjoyable life. A lot of people like to say living my best life, right? That's what sin offers you. But in the end, it leads to destruction, grief, and pain, right? And that's the same thing they're trying to do to this young man right here. Peer pressure is a real thing, not just for kids, but for adults too. They love to show you all the good things. They're going to come up to you direct and they're going to observe your life. Let's just be real, right? So, and this is what Solomon's really teaching them. He's talking about really avoiding these type of people. And I want to share a couple verses with you guys. A large part of wisdom is avoiding ungodly people, right? Absolutely. We're called to spread the gospel. We're called to make disciples, and we got to, but sometimes you got to separate yourself from some people because they're not trying to change. Their hearts are hardened. Like, think of Pharaoh himself. Pharaoh went through all these plagues, all his people. He did not show mercy to any of his people, and they're going through plague after plague on being a repeated cycle. His heart was so hardened, right? And I wanted to share this verse with you guys first. Let's go for Songs 1:1, which tell us, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinner, nor sitteth in the seat of scornful. I also want to go to 2 Corinthians 6:14. I'm just going to read the first couple of parts. So it's, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? And it's just these different verses. There's a couple other verses too. Let's look at Proverbs 1:15. My son, walk not thou in the ways with them, refrain thy foot from their path. We should separate ourselves from ungodly people, right? By all means, share the gospel, love them as Christ loved us, because once upon a time in our life, we were sinners, we were living in darkness, we were unrighteous, right? And then at the same time, some might spare the gospel to us, but we're not indulging, we're not camping around with them, right? It's like, okay, I shared this gospel with this person, I'm praying for them, but I see that they're doing some things after work that's unethical. I shouldn't be doing these things, but I'm gonna hang out with them because I might have a chance to win their soul. There might be a situation, right? If God calls you to that, by all means, do that. But sometimes you really have to separate yourself. You know what they're doing. Like, hey, after work, they're chilling, they're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing some things they shouldn't be doing, robbing, they're killing, and all these different stuff. You have no business to be in that area. And that's why it's really important to understand this lesson. Solomon is telling his son, but it's a benefit to the reader as well, because if sinner entice thee, consent thou not. They will. They be like, hey, let's go to this nightclub. Let's go to this strip club, whatever. Let's go to this party. And you're like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm married. I'm this, and I got to work in the morning. Whatever you can do to avoid that, because they're gonna promise you all these good things, and now they're coming with that promise. Let us fill our house up with spoil. Let's get these assets, right? Because, like I said, sin itself is disguised in destruction and grief, but it looks so appealing. Why you think a lot of people, you hear them stories, they had a one night stand? They're married to a woman that is a diamond in their life. It's the best thing that ever happened to her. She's great. She's great with the kids. She's a Proverbs 31 woman. She exceeds all of that stuff. And they give themselves into a one night stand because sin, it's wrapped up. It looks good. All that glitter ain't gold. And that's how sin kind of forms itself up in your life, because it looks appealing. It comes up to you having fun. It's like, hey, you look like a good man. You look stressed, blah, blah, blah. It starts casual. Bam, the back rub and everything else. That person call himself, he's committing an affair. He's doing all this crazy stuff. Same thing for a person, right? Sin will look appealing to you. A person that's struggling, that's having a hard time paying their bills or getting extra income, sin's going to come up to you in life and be like, hey, check this adventure out. But guys, that's pretty much the end of this verse. Those are the couple things I really want to hit on. It's just the fact that they're going to promise all these things. So when sinners entice you, when they ask you, let's go to this party, let's go drink, let's go smoke, let's go do this. Hey, you need some money. We can go steal some catalytic converters. We can go steal some wheels off cars and whatever they might do to entice you. Consent thou not. You have a choice. You have a choice by God Almighty. You have free will to be like, you know what? I don't want a part in that at all. I don't want nothing to do with that. And I know, like I said, that peer pressure starts to kick in because some people will make you feel like you're crap for not doing what they're doing, right? If you try to live a set apart life, some people will make you feel bad about your life. They'll look at you like, why are you living your life like this? Why are you going back to school? You could be doing this, you can be doing that, you can get whatever. But once you actually come into the knowledge of Christ, right, he starts to change you from the inside. You don't change yourself. No one can change you. It is Christ. You don't have the same urge to do the same things you once did before. You don't have the same things. You don't want to do the same things you did before. And guys, I don't want to keep on rambling on about this, but that's pretty much the end of this verse right here. You guys stay tuned next time as we break down more of Proverbs. So we want the wisdom, we want the knowledge, we want to apply it to ourselves in life. And guys, all of you guys stay blessed. And I'll see you guys next time.